The Knights of Ren podcast is brought to you by Cool Stuff Inc., your source for Star Wars Destiny singles, sealed product, and more. Check them out at coolstuffinc.com.
Show me again the power of the darkness.
D20 Radio, where gamers roll. D20radio.com. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the Knights of Ren, episode 606. And this week, we have the full team here. So we've got Rick, Nick, and Todd. How's everybody doing?
Todd doesn't have a gag reflex. On corn dogs.
Corn dogs. Yeah, on corn dogs.
I'll take that.
Sounds like you're doing pretty well then.
I'm all right, man. It's still in my mouth. You don't even know it.
Well, we know now.
It's amazing.
You literally just told us. It's in your mouth.
There's still room for one more corn dog, too.
Yep.
How big are the corn? Oh, no, wait, no. I immediately regret asking that.
They're standard corn dog size.
So Todd has an extra large mouth.
Indeed.
I think we already knew that with the amount of utinis he generates.
Yeah,
there you
probably.
go. Now that's out of the way.
Yeah, you got that one out early this time.
So spoilers, I heard.
Well, not more than that. We finally got a release date, which, thank God, we finally got one.
Wait,
also,
is it August 28th?
No.
Is it September?
No, that's when the next set
it's
comes
next
out.
year. If you saw E3, you know everything is coming out in like January, February of 2019. So it's 2019 Q1, obviously. No, it's 2 weeks.
So they said Q3,
like, what is that?
but like they meant like the absolute beginning of Q3. So we can't fault them for that, other than the fact that it should have been out like a month and a half ago,
or more.
Hey, but it's coming.
It's coming, and it's at least going to be out in time for North American Championships and Nationals, which I think is the important part. And for the most part, most of the store championships.
And my store
Well, that's
championship.
because you schedule around it.
Where's that at, Todd?
At Total Access Games.
.com.
All right, sorry, shameless plug.
Everything you do is shameless.
Pretty much.
Especially eating corn dogs. No shame.
No, not
I'm
when
good
you
with it, man.
two-fist it, just one
biting corn dogs.
Is this going to be the whole podcast?
Pretty much.
Yeah,
Right
it's a
on.
corn dog podcast.
Corncast.
Yeah. We don't talk about no dice around here.
No.
Talk about the corn.
All right, so release dates, right?
Well, I'd like to hear your perspective since you're a store owner and a player. I mean, it feels kind of weird because everyone wants a release date, and we got a release date. But then you're also kind of like, wow, it's really close compared to the previous times where the release date was like, I don't know, maybe a month away from like, hey, here's the website saying, here's the release date. You had some time to save up your money and prepare. This time it's actually really close. Now, believe me, I'm fine with that, but it's just different because I don't think FFG really did well with time scheduling for Legacies. And Way of the Force, we've been waiting forever, but they finally gave us a release date ahead of schedule. Whereas with Legacies, I thought it was like Team Covenant that spoiled it. And I think it was like a month, maybe a month and a half out. So this is just a really interesting setup. But I also know like for stores, that's not a lot of time to get orders in for like, pre-orders or, weekend events or even like a draft kit, because that's like the most optimal time to draft is when a new set like releases on opening weekend.
Yeah, I think the time crunch is very, very... It's tough to deal with because not only do you have to schedule events, you do have to get your product ordered. I went to the point where I just went ahead and guesstimated my order and put in my pre-order today to make sure I locked in a certain number of boxes. Because we will be running the sealed box tournament the weekend it releases and everything as well. So I just kind of had to guess and put the orders in where I thought they would come in at for that. and hopefully I don't come up short. I'd much rather be over than short for that. And I think I'll be all right, but there was a lot of running around today, a lot of scheduling of events. Now we knew when we could put out the store championship, because we had been holding off on announcing ours until we knew what the release date was going to be. We also announced a draft for the Friday after the release. So like there's a lot of moving parts to just the announcement, and the fact that we've got, 2 weeks before it all happens, like that's nuts.
So here's another question. A lot of people are excited. A lot of people are, speculating about what cards we have left and so on and so forth. But this is when a lot of new people or, old favorites come back and play Destiny. Every time there's a new set, we see a huge spike in the player base, either resurging or interesting new people. And with only 2 weeks, is there anything we can do as a community to help bolster the release date, bring in more people and retain more players? Because we always have this spike in players and then it just kind of dips off. But now that we actually have rivals before the set, we've got store championships coming up, North American championships, Gen Con, like we've got so many things in the pipeline. This seems like a really great time to bring in new players and to grow the community all over again.
One of the things that we're doing, actually, we're starting it this Friday. We're going to do a proxy tournament. So any of the cards that have been released already, people can actually proxy in. So you can start playing and getting some reps at the store with some of the cards. So we're going to do a proxy tournament this Friday and probably do another one next week as well before the release, just to at least get some reps in with what we know's out already. So, I mean, I think that's one way, and that kind of helps stores like continue through the lull, because the next 2 weeks is going to be dead for everybody saving their money and trying to get ready for the big release. So I think that's one thing stores can do, is maybe open it up and let the player base kind of have some freedom in their play. But that's what we're doing, at least.
Yeah, I mean, like Todd said, that this is a pretty big lull. I mean, nobody's going to be drafting in the next 2 weeks. Like, it's people are kind of tired of the existing meta. So just having the ability to just kind of get in there and kind of play test things outside of Tabletop Simulator and kind of get some ideas flowing, juices going with the new set. I mean, it's always a good idea. It's not the best for new players, but at least they don't have to have all the cards.
Right.
So, like, they can do something with it. Think about what they're going to be getting into. See how these cards that they're looking to buy kind of interact with each other and how it plays out and what's good and what seems to be not so good. Yeah. It's not too bad. I mean, obviously, like, the sealed box tournament, I think, is your best bet for when you got a new character or new players coming in, because it puts everybody relatively on the same equal footing depending on what they open on the box. They can open up those packs, they see what they got, they can play with stuff right away. They don't have to go out, build new decks, see what they got to beat, stuff like that. It's just an even playing field. And to be honest, everybody's getting at least one box. I mean, yeah, there's a few people that just buy singles, but I think it's just the value is not really there right now. Yeah, it's fun cracking packs and actually getting a little bit of extra use out of all those cards that you're popping that you probably won't play with until rotation happens, because there's a lot of good cards that we're seeing that just don't fit, don't have room until we rotate some of the better cards out of the format.
Now, tell us a little bit more about the format of this box tournament, because I don't know if everyone listening knows exactly how it's set up and how it's run. And I think it's a great idea for anyone who's going to be buying booster boxes. Even if it's not a local sanctioned tournament, you can still, do this with your friends.
Yeah, so what we're doing here at the shop, it's going to be a sealed box tournament. And based off some feedback we had gotten with the last one, we're going to actually allow everybody to bring in a rivals pack this time. So you've got a couple extra characters, maybe a couple extra weapons, just to round stuff out, right? I think the majority of people are going to be playing with what they get out of the box, because like that's where all the cool, fun, new stuff is. But with the way we do it, You open a box, you can mix hero and villain just like standard sealed or draft rules. Color restrictions apply, so you can only play colors of the characters that you have. And it's a standard tournament from there.
You do need to limit the number of copies of any one card in this, because there are some busted commons that they could feasibly open a lot of.
Yeah.
So that's just one of the kind of extra little things you need to look for. You can do it without limiting that, but just understand that there could be some shenanigans that happen when you don't.
Yeah.
Normally in like a sealed event where you only have 8 boosters, it's not going to get too out of hand. But when you got 36, there's some commons that are meant to only have 2 in a deck and get a little crazy when there's, 12.
Yeah, I can see that.
So,
like if you did Empire and you got 4 buyouts, probably would suck.
Yeah. Yeah, where 2 is probably sufficient, right? But 4 is just excessive.
Yeah.
Because then you're drawing them guaranteed every whenever you want to. But
See these 3 cautions I've got?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, stuff like that, right? It just gets a little excessive. So you should limit, not telling you what to do. You can do your own box tournament however you want. But just keep it in mind.
Yeah, the 2 limit is probably the right call there. I mean, that's what we're going to go with, just because since we won't and we probably don't know the full set until it actually happens. Smart money says there's probably going to be at least 1 or 2 busted commons, and it's probably best not to allow that to dictate an entire tournament.
Now, do you usually let people use the draft starters for those? Just because otherwise it might be hard if you had like really poor character drawings.
So we are using the Rivals draft with this one. We didn't do it the time before, and I think we had 1 or 2 people that just didn't really get to mesh, like really get to flush out their character pairing, which is why that was our first one. That was our test run. Everything went beautifully. It was just that we had a couple people that just didn't quite get to flesh out their entire deck is the way they wanted to. So we decided that adding the Rivals kit would give people some options if they need them.
And with the whole box and Rivals, I don't think there's any way you're not getting something that's decent.
Yeah, if you don't get something that's decent, then it's your fault. Build better.
Scrap it and buy another box.
Yeah, run a second one. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And there's a box on the line for the winner as well. So, we're expecting somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 folks for it, which is super cool. The last one we had was a blast.
I mean, you're charging $100 for it, and that's it. So, you're basically you're getting a discount on the box, really.
Yeah.
And then playing for another box on top of that. So, I mean, there's no reason not to do it. It's just unless your Saturday is filled up with family stuff.
It's a Sunday this time.
Oh, Sunday. Unless you got to be at church, right?
It's at 1.
Unless you... Well, yeah, I guess there's no excuse. You should go to early morning mass and then stop by and play a sealed box tournament.
See, we tried to cover all the bases.
You got them.
I got them.
There's no football.
No football.
Baseball's boring anyway. No hockey.
Well, it's baseball regular season. Is boring.
Yeah. I mean, the playoffs, good, sure. But postseason baseball is fun.
And then the Penguins won the cup, so we don't have to worry about it.
I think you got that wrong.
Oh,
go Caps. But I mean, there's nothing better to do than this. So you got no excuse. You're buying a box anyway. You might as well show up and play in a tournament.
All right, so that's really exciting. There's a lot of different things that people can do getting prepared for Way of the Force, especially now that we know when it's coming out. I highly recommend, please, if you haven't talked to your local store, give them a call, or, whenever you go in, go talk to the shop owner or the person who orders the product and say, hey, did you know about the release date? Because there's plenty of stores I've been to and worked at and hung out around. And, if it's not Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, or Pokemon, sometimes it's not necessarily on their radar. And with this release so close, you definitely want to make sure that they get that pre-order in. So that way you're going to have plenty of product for the players and for price support, because you don't really want to get caught with your pants down and, here comes the 5th of July, you show up and they only ordered like 5 boxes. And now it's like, well, I want to buy a box, but then we're not going to have any price support. And, who knows how long it might take for them to get product from the distributor. So Just go to your local store, talk to the owners, talk to the people in charge, and say, hey, Way of the Force, release date. Can I put a pre-order in? They go, oh, yeah, sure, blah, blah, blah. And then, kind of get the ball rolling. So I have another question, though, for you, Todd. What do you think this new set is going to do for trilogies? Just because it was a cool idea, but one set is not enough for block constructed. Now that we're going to have Way of the Force and Legacies, do you think there's going to be more interest in that on top of standard? Or is the game kind of going to stick to standard constructed games with trilogies kind of showing up at GQs?
I think it's going to continue the way it is for right now. Mainly because all of your store championships that I'm aware of, unless somebody else is running something different, are all going to be standard. And yeah, so and if that's the case, then right now main focus is going to be on standard, and everybody's going to have a short window of time to get some reps in, design a deck, and be ready to go for their store championships. And on top of that, we've got Gen Con and Nova coming up within a month and a half of the release date as well. So you're going to have a lot of people, I think, initially focusing on standard. That said, though, like the time the next PAX East comes around, I think Trilogies is going to be super fun with that extra set in there. I was not a big fan of Trilogies with the one set and the 2-player kit and the Rivals. Like I wasn't a big fan of it. I didn't have much fun in it at all.
It was okay.
It was really. Well, I mean, it was. I might as well just been playing Awakenings by itself.
I think Awakenings by itself was better than the first thing of Trilogies, just because Awakenings, as it was released, felt like kind of like a complete product in and of itself, with a good set of balance between things. The meta for Awakenings was pretty great. I wouldn't say that the meta for Trilogies is bad. It's just because like they took the time to fill out the roster with these new indirect characters. What Trilogies lacked in the first set was that it just didn't have like the meaty backbone that Awakenings gave for a trilogy set that needed. Like it's just you didn't have your classic go-to people. Like there's just so many essential cards that were nice in Awakenings that weren't there. And I think that with the next set, Trilogies will become just an excellent mode to play in. It'll be a ton of fun and have a ton of build options.
I agree, and I think this set will help round that out quite a bit. I am definitely looking forward to Trilogies. In fact, like after we're running our store championship on the I think the weekend of the 15th after the set releases. Like I want to do one the week after that that's Trilogies just to see what it feels like. So, I mean, I definitely want to get into it more now once we have that second set. But I know a lot of my focus is going to be on standard for store champs and then nationals.
Yeah, I mean, you still should pay attention to Trilogies because, with any game that has a rotation, the block constructed format is a very big indicator of what the potential standard meta could be at rotation.
Right.
And I hope it's not just Talzin, Double Trooper, and stuff like that, or Afro Tarkin.
I think it'll change quite a bit.
I mean, I'm sure Way of the Force will refresh that a little bit, and whatever the next couple sets will be, we'll do so as well. Destiny as a whole tends to get really shaken up with the new set anyway, so it may be worthless looking at Trilogies right now. But it generally in other games that have rotation, it usually is a pretty big indicator. Other than aggro is dominant at first. So
we've got a ton of spoilers to talk about, and we finally got our exclusive spoilers from Fantasy Flight, so we're going to talk about those a little bit later in the show. But right off the bat, we've got like 10 or 12 to talk about, so there's just a lot. So we're going to start shotgunning through these and talk about what we like, what we don't like, and if they're going to see play in the meta. Also, now that we have Trilogies to consider, we have another format to think about when we're analyzing these cards. Now, they are in a vacuum, and we don't know the whole set, so our hot takes are going to be purely based on what's available right now at the time of the recording. But up first, we've got 2 cards from the Hyperloops, and the first one is the Fifth Brother, Intimidating Enforcer, 12 health, costs 13 or 16 points for Elite. The die faces are 1 melee, 2 melee, 1 discard, 1 resource, 1 special, and a blank. The character is an Inquisitor, and the special effect is resolve one of your non-ability blue upgrade dice without removing it from your pool. I mean, there's a lot to be said about this card. He's probably the most talked about in terms of like-dislike, because some people like him, some people don't like him. A lot of big things to be said about Fifth Brother. I like his 13 points for 12 health. I think that's nice. I don't know about his die faces, though. 1 and 2 melee, it's not terribly much.
Yeah, I'll say it. I don't like him. I mean, I like his cost and I like his health. I hate his die. I'm not a fan of it at all. Yeah, I don't really have. I don't like him.
There's a lot of good blue sticks out there, and this special is very relevant.
It's not every good, like every blue stick. The better sides of your typical stuff, especially for villain, like Maul Saber, you're looking at the plus sides.
They're modified.
Ancient Saber, that +3 is the only side you really want to see. Those things don't do anything with his special. Heirloom is probably one of the best things on him, outside of his own lightsaber, which we'll talk about next, being probably just the most ridiculous thing to have on him. But otherwise, he's kind of underwhelming. He's better than Maul at that price, I'd say. He's got more health.
I'd agree with
doesn't
that.
have a paid side. He might hit a little less harder, but his ability's more usable, honestly, than Maul's feels like it is at times. I think he's better than Maul. And you got a good value for health for that cost. It's just, I don't know if he's good enough to really see tons of play.
So what you're saying is that Rebels, again, are better in a vacuum than every other card that's printed?
Wait, the cards from Rebels, you mean?
Fifth Brother is from Rebels, so
that's true.
Yeah, he's just better than Maul.
Who's from Rebels? That's the Rebels Maul.
Yeah, I was going to say, isn't that the Rebels version?
Nah, I'm going to go with that's the Clone Wars version.
With the lightsaber he's using, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, well.
Interesting.
Colorblind. I just hate all the Rebels characters.
Well,
they just get pushed
Maul,
so hard.
Not Darth Maul, so that's why
not Darth,
the Rebels Maul.
Yeah, well, Darth Maul wasn't Darth Maul in Clone Wars either.
I guess so, but he's totally using
with his
Rebels lightsaber that is on Malachor. That's a picture. It's the same one as.
I don't watch the animated shows. I have no clue what you guys are talking about.
Just know that Rebels characters will always be better in Destiny until a new cartoon comes out, and those characters will be better.
Okay.
Just know that.
Hey, what
So
about
you're
the
saying
Grand
the Ewoks
Inquisitor?
cartoon
Is
is
anyone
mine?
saying that he's a good card?
No.
Rick. Psh.
I mean, he's...
Uh-oh.
No, you can't do it, dude.
Yeah,
you can't pull this one out the fire.
No, I can't.
Just let it go.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta have a dud every once in a while. Right?
I mean, all the other Inquisitors
They
are
tried
good.
real hard.
The Seventh Sister and Fifth Brother, but
That-
Grand Inquisitors.
That was back when 12 health had to come with a 20-point cost
Yeah.
instead of 16.
Cough.
Well, it's weird too because he has two blank sides if you don't have an upgrade on him, and if you don't have if you have a 2-cost upgrade on him, I don't think it's good enough for I don't think there's yet really a great 2-cost upgrade that you want to throw on this guy.
Ezra Saber.
I mean, sure, but that's not villain. I guess crossguard saber isn't terrible on him
Cough, cough, draft.
because you could double special.
Yeah.
That would be
Double
cool.
special, that's 4
But
right there. Seeker droids, if you got enough of them, is a lot of focus that you don't have to remove from the pool.
yeah, Seeker droids wouldn't be bad on them either if you're willing to pay for them. But obviously, you're going to be running with Seventh Sister at that point.
Oh my god.
Which I feel like they should.
That's clearly his meant to be their combo. I don't know if there's anything else that you're going to want to pair him with right now that we've seen. I don't think you pair him with Anakin or anything.
And the upgrades don't have to be on him. So that's a plus in
I
his
guess that
favor.
is
I mean,
nice.
I don't like this card, but
It is nice they don't
There
have to be
are-
on him. It's just still they also have to be blue. That's the other problem. So if we do start getting some if you say you were running with somebody you wanted to use the dark saber, that wouldn't work with him because who doesn't want to resolve the dark saber twice?
Yeah, I mean, his saber's so good though.
Yeah. Let's just move on to
talk
that.
about that.
Let's just
Can we
talk
just go to
about
that
one.
one? Like,
Just move on. Yeah, tell us about the saber there, Todd.
Rick, you call it out.
I'm like,
you want me to call it out?
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Wow, just work it out, man.
All right. Fifth
You know
Brother
that's making
saber.
it into the show, right?
I had to click on it. God.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
All right, Fifth Brother Saber. It's unique. It costs 3 resources. It's villain and it's blue. And it's an upgrade weapon with die sides, modified 1 melee, plus 1 melee, plus 2 melee, plus 3 melee, 1 shield, and a plus 1 resource and a blank. And while this upgrades on Fifth Brother, you can resolve this die showing a modifier as if it were not a modifier. And after you resolve this die, you may deal 1 damage to any character you want. Yeah, I mean, it's really good.
Yeah.
And it's even better on Fifth Brother, but it's playable with Fifth Brother in the trash. So that's probably what makes this the best.
I just wanted to see where you'd go with it.
I wonder if it's actually worth 3 if you're not playing Fifth Brother. Like, I think it's still worse than Maul Saber, but like not like to a ridiculous extent, especially with Maul Saber having to pay for it now for the reroll out. Like, for
the reroll out, but you still at least got a black side on it you can resolve.
You get
a shield and 1 damage instead of just 2 damage. That's not that bad.
A shield and a damage. Thanks, Cotton.
Oh, wow. Okay, but here's the biggest question, especially at Worlds and over the course of the game. The most popular characters and the most powerful characters are the ones that consistently deal damage as you're playing through the game. So Rey 2 and Kylo 2 are like the perfect example. Rey is always dealing plink damage. Kylo is always dealing plink damage. Now you have a lightsaber that procs modified sides off of, let's be honest, this is probably not going to be played on Fifth Brother. So you throw this on, say, like Boba, Seventh Sister. You have all these modified sides, but it's not going to be impossible to resolve the modified sides. And when you resolve the modified sides, you get an extra damage. And you get to put it wherever you want. So you can throw, the modified side and a base die at one character and then throw that extra plink damage at somebody else. Or you can, throw it all at the same character. And like that level of flexibility is really nasty, especially if you're pairing it with Kylo 2, because, you could do Kylo activation, here's some damage, roll out your dice, resolve, and then you get an extra little bit of damage. And then if you've got, this and Maul Saber, that can add up really quickly. A lot of people underestimated Rey's ability to just poke one, but that's still damage like happening as you play the game. Like I think it's decent.
It also doesn't have to go on a blue character, and that's pretty helpful too. That's one of the downsides of Mauls when you're playing it in a mixed color. You can only put it on one character.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I'd see it, too. It's like Boba's sister, right? Like, it fits really well into that deck. And I think it is also extremely good on Kylo. You get the activation 2 plus a 1 from this. You're doing 3 damage just for activating and resolving dice. Like, that's good across the board. So, I mean, I think you're right. I think this is going to see play places other than Fifth Brothers.
Yeah, but it's completely busted on Fifth Brother though. Like, especially with this special, like it works so synergistically with Fifth Brother's special.
Yeah,
so
it'd be like, well, here's take 3 and then 1, and then 3 and then 1. Goodbye.
Well, don't forget with Seventh Sister, you're rolling out 5 dice.
Yeah,
just right off the bat.
Yeah, I mean this is almost a must remove die every turn while it's on Fifth Brother. Like,
yeah. So does that make him competitive?
No, I don't think any characters are automatically competitive because one upgrade of 2 that you could have in your deck are completely busted while on them.
And you're not likely to have it round 1 either. That's the big thing. Like you could roll out Seventh Sister, hit a resource, and then get it out, or you could run Enrage and have that or Lightsaber. Like there are ways to get it out there. I don't know if it's always going to be worthwhile. Like Fifth Brother only has 1 special, and this is notably better on him when he hits the special. If he doesn't hit the special too,
right,
like it's still good, but not that much better than it would have been otherwise.
Yeah, like if he had 2 specials instead of that discard side on him, like he'd be awesome.
Yeah.
He had the 1 damage, 2 damage, a resource, and 2 specials.
Well,
like that would have been crazy.
Because I mean that'd be 4 damage sides at that point. He'd have to definitely have a notable price. Like he'd have to at least go up to 17 for that, I'd say.
Right,
because the special allows you to resolve the die without removing it from your pool.
Yeah.
So you just get basically 2 copies. Like you get the original copy and then the special clone copy.
It's kind of similar to a Boba Fett special if you think about it.
Yeah, but at least Boba Fett special
Can work on opponents.
is relevant when you don't have an upgrade on for whatever
and it
reason.
targets your opponent's dice.
It's just one of those kind of specials that can have a very, very high upside.
Yeah, I mean, if you can keep Fifth Brother off of an upgrade, then he essentially has 2 blanks at that point, like, or your other character. Yeah, I mean, it's Fifth Brother. I don't think just because this card exists makes him that much better, but this card is ridiculous. While I'm talking, really gonna open a beer?
Yeah.
This card is just ridiculous on Fifth Brother. So I don't know. Like, I don't think
you know Todd's got to drink something.
Gotta keep hydrated through this, man.
Gotta wash them corn dogs down because you're swallowing them whole.
Jealous?
Oh, no?
No.
Is that even a question?
Moving on.
That's what I thought would happen. Though.
Yeah, that's a great segue.
Sweet.
So moving along, the next content creator to get spoilers was Rebel Gray, and the next card up is Luke's Training. This is a blue hero event, and it just says, for 0 resources, of course it's going to be really good. And it's an uncommon. Once again, uncommons are just god tier in this game. Spot 2 blue characters or Luke Skywalker to play a blue ability from your hand or discard pile, decreasing its cost by 1. Okay. All right. If you thought Rebel was a thing, now this doesn't obviously target any card. And there are some, problems in case you have just Luke Skywalker and he dies. You can't play this card. And it only targets blue abilities. So, there's definitely some downsides. But, getting Force Illusion back for 0 from the graveyard, that feels really good.
Yeah, like that's the optimal play right there. Like that's where you want to use that card. Like if I'm playing blue hero, and Luke, I'm definitely running at least one of these. That's a really good card.
Well, you're probably running at least one of these because you're running at least one Force Illusion.
Exactly.
I mean, but again, how many Force Illusions can one deck handle being played, right? Like
Couple.
Obviously 4.
Not 4.
Maybe 4.
I don't think the correct answer is 4.
It's 4.
Because
It's beer.
Most of the time you're blanking, or most of the time you're Force Illusioning 3. I think is the optimum Force Illusion there.
I like to use it for 6.
You
Or
love
more.
using it for 6, right? I think you used it for 12 one time.
I used it for 10 one time.
Yeah.
Wow. Did you win?
No.
Oh.
Oddly enough, I lost a mil.
Wow.
Seems
Didn't see
unlikely.
that coming.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you have wished you had Luke's Training to mill more cards?
Right.
Yeah, I milled somebody with Boba's sister because of a Force Illusion too. But it's I mean, you can't just, like, if you're playing Force Illusions, you're probably playing this card. But I think what it better is the fact that you can reliably just overwrite a blue ability with something else and then play that blue ability right back.
Yeah.
And or if for whatever reason they're able to vandalize a key card, you can get it back. I don't know if it goes in every blue deck. I don't know if it goes in even every Luke Skywalker deck, but probably does.
I don't know. I feel like that's almost a one of in any Luke deck.
I mean,
You're going to be playing upgrades.
you're going to play upgrades.
Yeah.
It's free money. Like there's a lot of free money cards in the game already. Not all of them see play, but like this is one that has almost no downside. Like it's got very little downside. It's very easy to actually get it off if you're playing in a Luke deck. I'd say like you're not.
Let's take a look at like Rey Ayla, right? That deck, when it first started being on the scene, played a lot of cost reduction events in the deck, right? To overload with expensive weapons early on in the game, and then just the opponent can't do anything with it. And then over time, every single one of those cost reduction cards got cut from the deck. Every single one of them got cut. So
Binds all things.
Destiny was still in it, and
Yeah.
Advance
Reaping
was
the
still in
Crystal?
it.
Destiny was not in it.
It's a Matt's
Absolutely.
version of
Matt's
it.
playing
Matt
ahead.
was playing Destiny?
Yep.
Okay.
He was like
So
the only
some of
one
them
playing
got cut.
Destiny. I feel like.
Yeah. Like maybe a binds, but it's
Reaping
slow.
the Crystal.
Reaping the Crystal got cut. It's just
No.
it did.
My leg. Oh no.
Like it gets cut for making room for other more impactful cards.
Like Luke's training?
I mean, the thing about Luke's training is the pulling from the discard pile is the real key
right.
part.
It makes it better.
Because if it didn't have that,
well, it gives you an extra.
Even if it just said play a blue ability from your hand, one less with no spot, I still don't know if that would see play. You know what I mean? Like it would have to have this from the discard pile thing to actually be good enough.
Yeah, Graveyard Reanimation is like the most underwhelmingly powerful ability in any card game. And especially with Destiny, being able to use an ability card for a reroll, or like you said, you play it, then you overwrite it, and then you get that ability right back for either half off or free. I mean, unless you're playing a 3-drop, that doesn't apply. But like, that's what makes cards like this so powerful is you have cards in your hand, you have cards in your deck, and you have cards you can access from your graveyard. Like, being able to use all 3 of those zones efficiently is just really, really good. Oh, and it's reduced by 1. Like with Rebel, you have to pay into it.
Yeah.
And you get that 1 resource discount back on cast. So it's basically it's a net 0. This is clearly a net 1. Like Luke's training, you pay nothing and you get a 1 cost reduction. That's really good. It's really good. Like you could do weird shenanigans where it's like you play an upgrade for 1, you overwrite a 2-drop for 1 resource. So, you know, your 2 resources are spent. Then you play Luke's training to get the 1-drop back. So you essentially got 3 resources worth of upgrades onto a character without actually having rolled those 3 resources worth. Now, that's a very niche situation, don't get me wrong, but the fact is you can still do it.
Yeah, and only relevant if one of those happens to be a non-ability, blue ability upgrade.
That's true.
Because otherwise you just play the blue ability upgrade for 2 and call it a day and save yourself a couple actions.
No, I agree. But there's automatically, like, there's combinations, there's builds. Obviously, everyone jumped on Force Illusion. If it gets milled, if it gets discarded, if something happens to it, you can still gain access to it. If you get hit with a Vandalize on your force speed, all right, well, we'll just bring it back with Luke's training, no big deal. All right, cool beans. Like, there's a lot of great things that make your deck much more efficient and makes other cards less efficient, which, you know, as a mill control player, I'm not super happy. But, like, as an overall player, like, this is a really good card because Vandalize doesn't necessarily just destroy your entire build. If you needed force speed to do shenanigans, you're not going to be dead in the water. Like, getting back your Force Illusion is really good. It's really good.
Or getting back something you milled with a Force Illusion.
Yeah.
That's okay as well.
Like the other one.
But still, a single deck can only handle
6 Force Illusions.
Beer.
Sure. Moving on.
Yeah.
What else did he have?
Superman.
Super Obi.
Superman.
Yes.
Have you? Okay, so before we talk about this card, have you guys seen the meme where someone gave like the Obi-Wan art, like the Superman cape and the little S on his chest?
I don't even know what card you're talking about yet.
It's called Force Jump.
Oh, that's
It's Obi-Wan doing the Superman pose.
Oh, look, it's 1 cost.
Hey, I wonder what.
Yeah. So Force Jump is a 1 cost blue neutral ability upgrade. It is blue character only, but it's got 1 shield, 1 special, and then 2 blanks. The special says turn a die showing damage to a side showing a blank. Pretty straightforward. And then you re-roll the die instead of removing it if you roll that special. So, kind of weird. Kind of lackluster, honestly. I know it only costs 1.
It's a better Immobilize.
Is it, though?
Yeah,
Immobilize always works.
It is.
Yeah, Immobilize you can just remove and yay, it worked.
Yeah, but you get it back in the pool to do it again.
I can't see many times where you'd actually use it more than once because you can't chain it to get because of the way that resolving specials works. Now, if you could keep like re-rolling it into specials and just like chain blank everything of theirs, that come talk to me about that card. That'd be pretty interesting. But like,
well, I mean, I guess if you had more than 1 special showing to turn a die, you could, right? Like
or Yoda.
Like Yoda hits 2 specials.
At what point is that a better use of your resources?
Oh, it's totally not.
Like, honestly, this is fine for mill. I think this is fine in mill. That's like the only thing I'd consider it in. Because
if you're playing Yoda mill, you blank them out, and then they have to pitch a card to reroll.
Yeah.
and then you can use your mitigation or whatever tricks you've got, and you're still achieving the mill like goal of reducing cards in hand and deck.
Yeah, I think it's fine for that.
It doesn't remove the dice.
But I mean, in any typical damage-based deck, I don't see how there's much reason to ever play this card.
No, I don't think so.
No. Not until we come up with
I do think it could be viable in draft.
Oh, sure. Yeah, it's probably fine in draft.
Like one resource for a die is good, but the ability to like either shield or just neutralize a die, I'm not opposed to that.
Yeah, reusable mitigation in draft is good. I think you pick this in drafts. I think it sits in your binder.
Especially because draft is a little slower. People are going to be rolling out slower. You roll your guy out with this, you hit the special. You might be able to get it off twice, actually, before they finish like resolving their stuff. So
right. Especially since it's neutral, you can run it with Talzin and flip into the special and just threaten your opponent if they, only have 1 or 2 characters with damage. Roll out one, you go, cool. We're going to blank that out. Now you have to pitch a card or use a focus or some other way to fix that die.
I'd rather do that with force throw, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Force throw is much more fun.
It's also odd.
It costs more.
Yeah,
but it's so sexy.
Yeah, but this is odd too, and it's cheaper.
It's worse than force speed.
I like it in mill.
It's one of those cards that probably won't see play until rotation, and then even then something will be better.
No, it'll be played in mill. I mean, it definitely works in mill.
I don't know if it makes the cut still. That's the real question. Is it good enough?
I don't know.
It might be. It might not.
I think so. I think like in a 5-die mill, I think that fits. I think it works.
Yeah. I would absolutely take this with Yoda. Yeah, Yoda.
Otherwise, it's like if this was released in Spirit of Rebellion, it would cost 0.
Right.
I'll know that.
Yeah, right.
And it wouldn't have 2 blanks. It would just have 2 more specials.
Yeah, probably.
And the artwork would be way worse.
Yeah, he'd actually have a Superman suit on.
Here I come to save the day.
Yeah, I think there's much more to say about that.
All right, moving on.
All right, cool. So the next one is There Is No Try. It's a hero rare. 2 cost. Die sides are 1 melee, 2 melee for $1, 1 focus, 2 shield for $1, 1 resource, and a blank. With an action that says reroll this die, then you may resolve it, increasing its value by 1. Otherwise, remove it. So it's got a built-in doubt?
No, do
on
it
itself?
It's a built-in do or do not.
Oh, it does. That's right.
Yeah.
Ha! Y'all. Now I see where y'all were going with that.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
you'll never play do or do not if you have this card in your deck, probably.
Well, I never played do or do not, so I don't know if I play this. I mean, the die sides are not bad.
It's not bad.
It's not. Yeah, the 2 resource sides are kind of painful, but I mean, if you're playing Hero Blue, you're probably going to play this with some version of Yoda or something. So you should have some resource generation going on. But yeah, I don't know.
If you do this when you don't have any resources, you're just living on the edge.
So it's just do or do not. Huh?
Yeah, there is no try.
There is no try.
There is no try.
Huh.
Do it.
I like the artwork, though. The artwork's super cool.
Yeah,
I would play that on a playmat.
This was Rebel Grays as well.
Yep.
You got some very athletic Jedi cards. Like, there's a lot of action poses going on the cards you got.
Yeah, I do think that's pretty good in mill, though. Or not mill. I'm sorry.
What?
Strike that.
What?
Wow.
I do think it's really good in draft, though.
Now we know where Todd's allegiances are for mill
think
players.
you're right.
Yeah, no, that's just my go-to statement for any card I think sucks. I think
That's
it's good in mill.
Oh!
I think it's good in mill. Yeah.
I don't know. Draft, like, you're kind of resource starved.
You don't make resources in draft, bro.
Well,
Right, but it's also got a
draft
focus
for it.
side.
yeah, I mean,
And it has a resource side.
I'd rather take an ancient lightsaber over this.
It's draft.
It's
You don't
draft,
get
bro.
to
Yeah,
pick.
you would. You take
Crafted.
any upgrades in the
Crafted.
draft.
Yeah, that's true. You take all your upgrades.
like, the sides are fine in draft. Like, they're doing everything you want them to do in draft, and you got a
It's
second
true.
chance to get even better.
if you can get 3 damage for 1 resource, that's not bad.
Or 2 focus.
Or 3 shields.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like in draft, this is pretty good.
I don't disagree with you.
2 resources.
Yeah, 2
Yeah.
resources.
Yep. Or 2 damage for free.
Or re-roll
2
into a
blanks.
blank and say, oh.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's
do
me.
it, curse the double blanks, guys, because you just upgraded to 2 blanks.
Got 2 shots at rolling a blank.
1 die, 2 blanks. There is no try. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
Moving on.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's good in draft.
Good in draft.
Yeah.
It's probably very good, at least usable.
Man, we are thorough with these spoilers today.
Maybe.
We're moving on to the Dookie monster.
Dookie Monster. All right, well, tell us more about him. Now, before we do, though, these came from our good enemies over at the Jedi Trials. And it's really funny. They got villain cards of all things.
That is pretty funny.
Considering we got villain cards, which I was like, it would be ironic if they got villains and we got heroes. But no, our allegiance to villainy is true, while their allegiance to heroism is not. It's questionable. Heretics. Maybe?
I guess.
They're questionable anyway.
Oh. I mean, Mike plays for both sides. He's a rebel spy. He's evilly good or good at being villainous?
Is he spying on the rebels or is he spying for the rebels?
See, that's
I'm
the
still
question.
not sure.
No one knows.
Exactly.
He could be spying.
He claims he's spying for the rebels. But,
That's a likely story any spy would use.
could be a Darth Tyrannus.
Saurus Rex.
Oh, look at that.
Worst segue ever.
Worst segue ever.
I did it. I didn't try.
It almost got us back on target.
Why don't we just call him the Dookie monster?
Count
Instead of
Dooku?
Dooku 2. Yeah, Count Dooku. Count Dooku.
You know, I think he's better than the original in some aspects.
Well, tell us about him.
Okay, Count Dooku, the Dookie monster, Darth Tyrannosaurus Rex. he's he's a blue villain. Surprise! He's not a good guy. Well, 12 health, 15, 18 cost. Not terrible. He's got a 2 melee, a 3-for-1 melee, a 1 focus, a 2 shields, and a resource, and as always, a blank. But his ability is probably the coolest part about him. So his ability is, after you activate this character, you may turn one of his character dice to a side showing melee, and then turn an opponent's die to a side showing, or side that is showing melee to any side. So it's basically the card Clash built into his activation, which is a 1-cost card. So if you're playing against a melee deck, he's basically insane. If you're playing against not a melee deck, he has an auto-focus on one of his dice to a 2 or a 3, depending on how much you want to spend on it. That is one of the stronger abilities, I think, in the game, what we're seeing here with Dooku. Like, it's something. I don't know if it's enough to make him worth it. My, gut instinct is you pair him with, Talzin as, your first easy, straightforward option.
Yeah,
You know what's really scary about how he's worded, though? He's 2 sentences for his effect. Sentence number 1 says, after you activate this character, you may turn one of his character dice to a side showing melee damage, period. And then the next sentence says, turn an opponent's die showing melee damage to any side. So you can refuse to use the first effect and still use the second effect.
Yeah, so you're not forced to hurt yourself in order to make his dice do what you want him to do. You're not forced to have an opponent showing melee damage to be able to turn his own stuff. So it's as flexible as it can be in that aspect. It's a cool ability. I don't know who else you pair him with right now. And the 3-for-1 on his thing is still kind of daunting because it really kind of limits your early game, but you can always just focus it right to the 2 right away, and that doesn't feel too bad. So
yeah, I think that's where his strength shines, though, is early on you want to use your resources to ramp. So if you do hit the 3-for-1, you can roll to the 2, still be able to count on reliable damage, and still being able to ramp out your turn. I really like him. And I hope there's something to be said there for him and Talzin. And I'm actually hoping there's another 12 cost somewhere in this set that pairs very well with him.
Ezra.
he's 11, but yes.
Draft.
That would have worked.
He's good in draft.
Yeah,
Use him for your box draft.
That's probably what I'm going for.
he's got the dreaded 18-point elite villain cost point where you can't really pair him with anybody because for some reason, even if you do find somebody somewhere down the road, they're going to be balance of the force to 13 anyway.
Talzin's fine.
No, we've had the 17 points been that problem because all the 13 cost villains have knocked off of that one.
Yeah, the 10-13s are the ones that keep getting wrecked.
That's why Price is so useful right now, is because she kind of turns back on the decks that were turned off when Phasma and Unkar both got nerfed.
Rest in
and
peace.
She kind of has a flex role too.
Yeah, I think.
But yeah, I mean, if he could pair with Price, that would have been pretty cool. I think.
I think that if you looked at a card and its die sides were 2 melee, 2 melee, 2 melee, 2 melee, 2 melee, 2 melee, you would probably automatically play that card. So I don't see why people don't like Dooku.
You missed one side though. There is a 3-for-1 in there. So it's 2 melee, 2 melee, 2 melee, 2 melee, 2 melee, 3-for-1.
No, I mean, it's like, I don't think I'd ever want to pay for it.
There's that off chance though you might need the one extra.
Yeah, but it's nice because you roll 2 dice out and you only have to hit something on one of them, and you just whatever one's your crappy one, you just get rid of. Like
like your blank.
Yeah, like your blank.
Like, I don't know why Todd wouldn't
like,
play this card all the time.
I will be playing this card. Like, I know I hit the 1 and 6 blank quite often.
Oh no, you hit the 2 and 36 blanks all the time. So at least you're always going to hit a 2 melee.
Is there anything ever to be said for running him 1 die, which means you never miss when you're on 1 die
in draft?
Well, I mean, like, if you thought Yoda was scary.
Oh, in draft, this guy is insane.
Oh, in draft,
this 15, and he's rare, not a legendary. Like, this guy's going to just tear draft apart. And draft is always going to have melee in it, pretty much. Like, his ability is going to be. He's just going to be this crazy pick for draft, I think.
I would wager you always go for the 3-for-1 in draft.
I don't think you always can afford the 3-for-1 in draft.
I mean, early game feels good to just punch him for 6.
Oh my God, you were just telling me that there is no try. You couldn't play that because of the 1 resource side, but his 1 resource side is okay?
No, I said
it's because he's.
I said you don't want to ever do 3-for-1 in draft.
No, I'm talking to Suggy.
Oh yeah, hypocrite.
Yeah, hypocrite.
What? No, I'm fine.
Like he kind of makes you want to. If you're in a 3-pack Way of the Force, like you kind of want to draft 7s and 8s. Just in case you pull a Dooku that has that.
Nah, you just need a 9 to go with that Jawa.
Wow. Just take 2 Jawas and go.
Just a mono blue 2 Jawa. My Dooku's always going to be melee.
I'm going to roll you out.
Yeah.
Count Dooku with 2 Jawas.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah, you trade your Anakin for someone else's Jawa. That's the thing.
Like, he is really good in draft.
Oh, yeah.
Snap keep in draft.
Probably.
You just
he's got everything he needs. He is pricey, but it's probably for a good reason. If he was like 15, 17, he'd probably be a little too good.
Yeah, that deck just made itself.
And 12 health.
Dooku Price, just like if he was 17, that deck just made itself. You ain't even got.
Dooku Price.
You don't even have to do anything. Just throw cards in a pile.
just chuck dice. Screw it.
I'm going to resolve this for 4-for-1. I'm never going to play any other cards. Go.
My leg.
Roll out Dooku, roll out Price, claim the throne room, go.
Yep.
How did I lose?
He works so good if if you can pair him with red to get like tactical mastery turned on. Yeah, but it was just like being able to roll him out with tactical mastery and knowing you guarantee a certain amount of damage. Like if you have a resource, you guarantee 3. Like just you can't roll bad with him in that sense.
One of our spoilers works with him very well. The points wise.
That's true.
Not necessarily.
His ability doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
No. But we do have a 12-point elite character.
It works perfect with the best defense.
Oh, that's true. That's true. He is a unique character. Anyways, Dooku could be good. Definitely good in draft. What do you think about him in trilogies? Maybe?
Oh, I'm sure he's probably good in trilogies.
Yeah, true. I think Dooku Talzin's going to be fun in trilogies. That's probably going to be my first trilogies deck.
We had an argument with one of our buddies, James Self, last week about Dooku and trilogies. Yeah. And he just kept falling back to, is it better than Talzin 2 Trooper? And I'm like,
health-wise?
No.
Or color-wise? I mean, the biggest color-wise, you're mono blue, but that might have been a problem in the first thing of trilogies. I'd assume there's going to be good enough cards with 2 sets to make a monocolored deck and it not be terrible.
Yeah, I mean, his fallback to the argument is always that deck can output ridiculous amount of damage from turn 1. but it still is dependent on rolls, where Dooku Talzin really doesn't care what it rolls.
Yeah.
It just has to try and get around like entangles and
Garbage shoot.
Yeah, it's supposed to just waltz right into removal.
Right.
And honestly, there's right now, unless we see some big action cheat stuff, a lot of that's just kind of the problems in general. A lot of things just kind of walk into easy pickings, garbage shoot, stuff like that.
Well, that's the other beautiful thing about Dooku. That's the other beautiful thing about Dooku is that he
can never get hit by easy pickings with his character dice if you want to.
Yeah, he always has the ability to protect his dice from some of the strongest mitigation. Not all but some of.
Entangle can only take one. I mean, unless he rolls like, the 2 and something else. But if you roll like the 2 and the 3, you're fine.
That's like,
Well, yeah. If you roll anything that's not melee, he's in trouble. But the thing is, like, if you roll like the 2 shields and something not melee, you can flip something to melee, and now you can't easy pickings. You can only get 1 die with Entangle, and you can only get 1 die with Garbage Shoot. So him and Talzin can really play around the heavy mitigation that's out there right now.
Like it's weird because like normally your way around it is action cheating, but in trilogies that's not as much of an option. So this is as good as you can probably get, unless we see bigger action cheat cards coming in this set.
All right, so let's move on to the next card that I don't know how I feel about this one. So the Count Dooku Solar Sailor is 3 resources.
Monster spaceship.
Count Dooku's Solar Sailor. It's a villain support vehicle. Its die faces are 2 focus, 1 shield, 2 shields, 2 resources, blank. And it says, after you activate this support, you may draw a card. I don't know. It's really expensive. If it was 2, I would consider playing it. But at 3...
2 would be crazy.
3...
It's Houndstooth. It's another one of those kind of like support vehicles. It's interesting.
It's interesting.
It says it on the card.
Yeah, they even call it a support vehicle. That's crazy, dude.
Oh, wow. Who would have thought? It's a non-damage based vehicle.
You nailed that one right on the head.
This is a card you will probably never use with Count Dooku.
No. I feel like you're going to use this card in like utility piece decks, so like mill or mid-range, because like the double 2 focus, that is really nasty. Also, like 1 and 2
all those sides
shields
are stuff you want to see in a mill deck, I think.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like in draft, it's good.
Yeah, it's probably fine in draft too.
Oh, I played in drafts.
Would you really?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
I think
everything
it's better than
in draft.
It's better than Fang Fighter for 3 because you can just those 2 focuses rolling that is
shield
and drawing
money
cards
and draws.
Yeah, in draft you're right. Like getting that +1 card draw is really good. In standard, I'm just not feeling it.
This is also another example of why I don't understand our spoiler, but
we'll get to that.
It's so good with this card.
It's so good with this one.
My leg.
It is so good with this card.
Super good. Maybe.
This is a callback.
It works with best defense.
This is what comedy is all about. You seed it, you talk about it, and then they're like, oh yeah, that's hot garbage.
Remember that card we talked about? Yeah. Count Dooku?
No, this is good in draft, otherwise unplayable.
Wow, really? That's
no,
where
except in mill. Except in mill, sure.
Yeah.
If for whatever reason you want to play villain mill.
Yeah, if you want to play villain blue mill.
Yeah. Which you have no reason to do.
Thrawn tells a mill.
Not currently.
Thrawn tells a mill, yes. You're right.
All right, so you stuck around this long, and now it's time for our spoilers for Fantasy Flight Games.
We should have definitely seeded these in between. So they had to listen to all that crap until they got to this.
We've got ours, and we're going to be posting these alongside the podcast. You can see them, but we've got some interesting ones. The most interesting, obviously, is it Firmus Piet? It's Admiral Piet. I don't know, his first name's kind of weird, but Admiral Piet, Firmus Piet is a unique character, the Ambitious Admiral, 9 health for 9 points or 12 points for elite. His die faces are 2 indirect, 1 focus, 1 shield, 1 resource, a blank. He is a character leader, and his effect is after you activate this character, turn any number of your vehicle and non-unique character dice to sides showing a value of 1. So you guys were talking about Count Poopy's Solar Sailor, but he's got a bunch of 2s on there, so I don't know.
He has
No,
He's got a 1 shield.
He has a
one
1
shield.
shield. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, great. Let's flip to a 1 shield when there's everything else is a 2.
But you get a shield for sure.
How much? Let's just ask ourselves this: how much do you see people playing Tinker? Because that's what this guy is. He's the auto tinker. He's the Tink Master. I don't know why he's called an ambitious animal. He should be called the Master Tinkerer.
He's the Tink Master.
He's the Tink Master. But see, nobody plays Tinker. And I think that kind of goes to show why this guy's kind of weird. And his die's not bad, but his ability doesn't seem good either. So,
like, I can't think of any vehicles you would want to play with this guy.
no.
Like, it's really bad. Now, his non-unique character die sides, I'm coming around to that.
I think that's where his strength
being able
is
to turn
non-unique
blanks
characters.
to like a resource is really good. I think that part is good. Like being able to turn crap dice into a resource, superb.
And
Just
it's
run 'em-
any number, not just a singular.
Just run him with 3 Jawas. There you go. We solved it. He's the Jawa master, the Tink Master, right there. He works with the Tinkers.
Oh,
The Tensified Forward and Utini. Like, the flavor text doesn't even make sense. Intensified forward power to 1.
It's true.
wow. I think you broke Todd.
So I don't know that he's like just straight bad. He's cheap, and he's got two damage sides, even if they're indirect. I think he's fine, and maybe we'll see a time where there's some kind of vehicle that you might actually want to use that on. I don't know, but he's just weird, and he's the hardest person I think to really evaluate of these cards that we've seen in this vacuum. Like, I just don't know what to say about him.
Like, when you say he's cheap, like, yeah, this ability with 1 die would probably be really cool, except that when you do it with 1 die, like, you're going with, what, 3 non-uniques maybe, and then it's 9 points, and then you're going with a bunch of 7s, and you're still only turning them to 1s. Like,
You could do like 3 damage right there.
yeah, that's 3 whole damage.
I mean,
But
but I think resources are better than damage.
Oh, I totally agree.
That's where you want to use them for, but I don't know, like, where do you strike this balance of, like, I'm just going to roll out 3 stormtroopers with him and then turn them all to resources and take all the resources. Like, that doesn't sound bad, but then, like, what are you building to? Are you building out to a vehicle deck at that point? Like he's definitely a slower character. You're not going to be able to really get a lot of mileage out of him in the early game with an ability like that.
Like, all jokes aside, his true power comes into being able to chain modified sides. I mean, it's with the next card that we'll see here that happens to be a non-unique character that happens to have 1 value sides on both ranged and melee and care about weapons. There's a lot of modified sides on, the ranged and melee weapons that you would want to put on these characters and stuff. And just being able to always go to whatever side that you need to be able to hit those modified sides and be able to run things like Tactical Mastery to be able to, gain 2 actions, first action, roll him in, and put those die sides to whatever you need, then be able to resolve those heavy melee or every modified sides is actually good. Like, Piet is not like a ground force kind of guy. Like, obviously he's a big failure and he gets choked, but
Poor dude.
like, honestly, in every other game that I've ever seen, he gets choked by Vader. He's failed him for the last time.
No. He's the guy.
Absolutely.
No. He keeps getting like upgrades where everyone else gets choked.
He ends up Admiral.
Yeah.
Does he?
I don't think he's the choked guy. I think
Yeah,
he's
the guy.
Oh, no, it's the other
No,
guy.
it's the
Ozzy.
other guy.
Admiral Oswald gets choked
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
And one other,
Yeah,
right?
the guy who has all
And
the
then
facial
Piet's
hair.
just kind of there.
Yeah, Piet is
You're
like
right.
corporate America guy. He's just standing around. It's like, you're the only one here who can do it, so you're getting an upgrade promotion. Like, oh yeah, okay.
He is kind of boring
You're
McLaurin.
getting upgraded to 1.
I don't know why he needs a card of all people.
Ouch,
Like,
burn.
we could have put like 10 more Rebels characters in this game.
Oh
for
Lord, no.
They would be better than him.
Ouch.
I would personally want to see Melch, which is the little Ugnaught that is Hondo's little buddy first before this guy. When we get an Ugnaught in this game, it's going to be the best thing ever.
Waiting for Ewok. Need a Wicket.
No.
Need Wicket.
Screw the Ewoks.
No.
Never.
Ugnaughts are little piggy people. They're better.
No. We need the Cantina band, like a 5-card team, monocolored.
5-die Cantina band.
5-die Cantina band. A brand new musical symbol.
Play that same song. Okay.
I mean, like, obviously, I was very intrigued by his low point cost, which I thought could pair well with Unkar. And, hey, those two sides are valuable. And if you're making a buttload of money, you could get vehicles out, and then you can help fix the vehicles. I mean, sure, you don't. Okay, yes, you don't want 1. You want the highest rating, but a 1 is still better than a blank. And
absolutely,
yeah, like that's why the thing is, like, I guess, like, it's not that bad if he's fixing blanks to 1s. It just kind of feels bad where it's like, but do you really want to see a 1? No, most times.
But I'd rather see 1s and not blanks. Plus, that means I get to keep cards in my hand, not pitch them to reroll.
Yeah. I think he's just hard to math out. Like, how worth it is he? I don't know. I think
the artwork on his card explains how everyone thinks about him. You're like, I just don't know.
Him and 3 battle droids. Issue solved.
1 indirect. 1 ranged.
Yeah.
Yeah. Intensify that forward power.
Roger.
I didn't want to give away all my secrets, but that was it.
I think I'd rather have the Jawas.
Why? You can't get to the 2 side. Might as well take the one on the
no, you gotta take that resource
the
battle droids don't have.
Who needs resources?
Vehicles.
Everybody.
Not battle droids.
It's not like you're getting a second color when you go to Jawa.
Hey man, gray is a color.
Not a very good one.
No. I don't know where Piet is gonna fit. Even in, like, I don't know, draft. He's tricky. I feel like this is a card that
I think he's fine in draft.
Yeah, I think he's fine in draft too. I mean, you got 2. All of his sides are black. So you're going to be able to resolve all of his sides, especially in draft. Yeah, and he's 9 health for 9 points.
There you go. That's a great draft team.
And he does fix the Jawa. That is a true statement. Like, your Jawa will always be doing something.
And he will always be worse than every other card that the person to the left or right of you will be passing. So the chances of you getting him an elite are pretty high.
Well, but I mean, like, 9 points for 9 health, like, that's nice and low to put red in your team. You can run Rainbow pretty effectively.
He hurts my head.
Like, there's no vehicle you would want to run him in. Like, no vehicle deck.
I'm telling you, Dooku's ship is perfect. Now, 1 shield every time. You never have to worry about anything.
Now, if 2 weeks from now,
turn that Fang Fighter to a discard every time for your mill deck.
If 2 weeks from now a bunch of random vehicles come out that have really awesome 1 sides and don't have better sides on them, then I will say Piet is awesome.
Will you choke down a corn dog?
Worlds.
He probably can.
I hope he wins Worlds.
He is very ambitious. Can we go to the better of the 2 cards, though?
Yeah, I agree. All right, moving along. Who wants to talk about the Mandalorian Super Commando?
Take him, Rick. You got a hard on for him.
I do like him. The art is awesome on
Super
this.
Trooper.
Mandalorian Super Commando. He is a 9 health, non-unique character, yellow. He's got the trooper keyword, which I really hope they start doing a little bit more with. Die sides are 1 range, 2 range, 1 melee, 1 shield, and a blank, and it comes in at a fat 9 points. And he has a power action of play an equipment or weapon from your hand on this character, then deal 1 damage to a character. Now,
that's a cool ability.
I'm not sure if this means that's free.
No, it's not.
I think you still got to pay for
it. But you can override for free.
But you're gonna play, like, a lot of times if you're gonna play a weapon on him anyways, it's just an action, so it's like the same thing.
Yeah, and you get get an extra 1 damage.
Pew pew.
And if it has ambush, you still get that ambush.
Pew pew pew.
Super pew.
Super pew.
And why I say he's good with Piet is that 1 in 1 range and 1 melee side, so you can always link up with whatever modifieds you're running. I think you're probably going to be in a predominantly ranged deck, though. I don't think you're going to mix range and melee just because you can.
And he's got indirect, so it's a perfect mesh there.
Yeah. Just all damage sides.
Just gonna spread it out.
You have no idea what I'm doing.
You don't know where I'm coming from.
This damage is going here. Could be going there.
What's up now?
I'm gonna spread it out.
I'll damage
you thought it was
myself.
range
just to
this
keep you
time,
off.
didn't you?
Yeah,
Shoot
but
your
I mean
team.
the lack of resource side on here kind of hurts it though. But
Well,
I don't know. His sides are all good. There's no modified sides on a non-unique at 9 points with 9 health. I mean, it's pretty good. I really like these guys.
Well, the nice thing is, it's also another character that, as you're playing the game, deals damage just by existing. Like,
Yeah, I'll never play this except for draft.
You just get free damage. Yeah, I think in draft this card is like really good. Constructed, I don't know.
He's fine, I think. I'm sure there's something for him. I think just the fact that you can't bait and switch this guy is just like,
Right.
Yeah, it hurts.
that's like the thing for villain. And right now it's like,
Villain
I guess
yellow
like in
especially.
trilogy you don't have it. So I mean, he's probably pretty good in trilogy and draft, but I don't know.
Like, if there's any relevant equipment, being able to also deal damage off of playing that equipment's good too. Kinda, maybe.
Well, I mean, you can
Yeah,
get your.
now I just got to figure out how to pay for it.
It's true. You can get your
Well, if it
holdout.
costs 2 or less, you're good.
You get your X8, your holdout.
No, I mean just equipment, not necessarily weapons. Like
Yeah.
equipment, like comm links and stuff that we used to play back in the day.
And the Relcos.
And the Relco shavers.
I mean, that
be able
is
to-
something to think about, though, is it turns dice on cards that don't deal damage inherently into a quick little poke that you can then overwrite for an actual weapon.
Yeah, and the equipments are generally pretty cheap. There's not a lot that costs more than 1.
Well, isn't there like some zero costs in draft, like even in the rival set? Like, so, or like an ammo belt.
Yeah.
I mean, that's technically an equipment as well. So you could drop an ammo belt on him and deal the damage. Whee!
Yeah, free damage.
And then you can overwrite for an actual die you want.
So now I'm going to have to find 20 equipment cards that cost 0 or 1. And just keep dropping them on him. And be like, do you have 22 health? You win.
I mean, I figure he's probably going to be able to do 1 or 2 points on that.
I'm not trusting it.
It's only
This
once per
feels
turn.
really good with like
You're
Hidden
right. Starship
Blaster.
Graveyard. I
If
win.
you like Hidden Blaster, remove a shield, then deal another damage. That's
That's a
2 damage.
2
with
damage
one card.
swing.
That's-
Yeah.
And we can put backup muscle in there. I think we got a deck.
Yeah, but it's going to take you 20 turns to do it off of that because it's only once per turn.
I believe in you.
Until we see a way to like reset your power actions. That'd be cool.
Ooh, spicy.
Uh-oh.
You just need a way to draw cards.
And
So we're gonna have to put a battle droid in this deck, so we can award ceremony. Draw 4 extra cards, get 4 more
It's still
equipments. Just
a
keep
power
dropping
action.
them.
It's a power action.
Oh,
That's the problem. Yeah.
never mind. This deck doesn't work.
That's what I've been trying to
If it
say.
wasn't a power action, it'd be pretty cool. In that sense, you would just spam the
So
crap
it's
out of
a
it.
7-turn deck at 20 health, is what we're saying, with 3.
Sure.
I don't think it's got legs.
It's got arms.
It's just a small benefit on a card that's like without that ability, it's not the worst sides of stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, it does have 50% damage size, right? Like, so that is a thing.
And 2 shields.
Yeah. So,
And
I
one
mean, it's.
damage around basically. So
I think it's a solid draft sealed card. And it may see play in constructed. It's just, man, there's so many variables to take into effect with this.
you run 2 of them with like tells in.
This is why I hate spoilers. Give me the rest of the set so I can say if this card's good or not.
2 weeks. You get it in 2 weeks.
It's not that long.
I mean, this is kind of one of those cards you kind of can evaluate without the rest of the set, though. Like,
What if there's 15 zero drops?
That's wow.
then
That seems
it's
unlikely.
still exactly as good as it was before because you can only do it once per turn.
Yep.
So,
Not
like,
if you run 3 of
So
them.
it's good in draft.
yeah, it's really good.
It's
Yeah.
true. If you,
Well,
if you
I
run
don't even know if
3
you can draft.
Mandalorians.
Like, not having a resource side really hurts it in draft. Like, resources are hard to come by in draft.
That's true.
But you don't have
you
to
just
draft
draft
the
the
resource
resource
cards.
3 black damage sides that you don't have to pay for on one die is really good as
You are
well.
correct. sir.
And free damage if you have an equipment or weapon.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
He's getting draft.
I wouldn't play more than one of them in draft, so.
No.
I don't think you'll get more than one of them most times anyway.
I don't either.
I don't know, people pass me some ridiculous stuff in draft for some reason.
Yeah, I quit drafting with Rick.
Like, I don't know how many times Talzin has been passed to me.
What?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Talzin's like one of the best cards.
That is like
That's
the
exactly
best
what I
card.
said.
Yeah, that's really good. That's awful.
Like Talzin and like A-Large just as like auto pick characters.
Right?
Doesn't matter if you only get her ability 30% of the time.
I've just started drafting odds because I know that Talzin is going to get past me at some point in the draft.
I'm just going to start sitting beside him in drafts so I can take it from him.
Until it's on the
Always
wrong
that other
rotation.
side.
Wow.
And Callus, too. People love passing me Callus.
Why would they do that? Oh, no.
Let's not
Callus
talk
is
about it.
much harder to fit in a draft.
Let's not talk about it.
Sounds like it's like a sore spot for Todd over here.
It was sore. My ass is still sore.
Oh, wow.
It's funny.
I don't know where to go with that.
It's funny.
Like, they pass Talzin and then immediately pass me Callus, and I'm like, well, my duck's built. Good thing I drafted all of these witch magics and spell removals and stuff like that.
Wow,
So, yeah, but yeah. And they'll pass me these, and I'll be able to play them. And they'll pass me Dooku Starfighters or whatever the heck those things are.
I'm going to pass you Piet in a Starfighter.
And I'll have Elite.
Oh, a 10 health Piet. That's it.
9 health.
No, because we'll get the one shield off the... with Piet.
Yeah.
I'll get the one shield off the starship. So he has 10.
Oh, I will be playing him with non-uniques.
They make that Jawa do work. So
I mean, I like this trooper. I don't know, he's cool.
the art is super cool.
Is endless ranks? Does that say target a
That's
non-unique red character?
Yeah, that's red.
All right, just making sure. I didn't know if it might have the keyword trooper on it. Maybe we missed it a long time ago. Figured we didn't.
That was before the trooper days.
Yeah, it was worth a try.
Like, really looking forward to these
Keywords matter?
being relevant. Yeah.
Me too. That'll be really cool.
Especially when we have an upgrade that creates a keyword like that. That to me
of
says,
course. Like,
I mean, like as a player and game designer, you would think that if a set has an upgrade that says whatever this is equipped to gains the trooper keyword, means we're going to see some sort of effect, especially with so many spot 2 characters or Luke Skywalker or such and such or such and such. Like you would think that we're going to see cards that say spot a trooper, do a thing. Yeah, and that would be cool.
I want to see it.
Well, Rex targets a trooper.
No.
Well, it has to be specifically a clone trooper.
Clone trooper.
Oh, is it specifically clone?
It is.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I think he'd be insanely good if it was any trooper, too.
I think I would draft him every time.
Yeah, that would be good. So, all
I
right.
think Rex is still good enough.
Yeah. That is the end of this super long show, but man, oh man, this has been a great week. We've got the announcement, we've got spoilers, we've got 2 weeks before everything just comes to fruition, and man, that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited. I'm in the middle of moving next week. I actually move, so next week's show is going to be a little bit shorter due to obviously I have to pack up my equipment and then move and then unpack it. So just time is going to be short. But like as I get to Texas, Way of the Force hits the shelves, so it's going to be really neat to just enjoy not only a new meta but a new state with new friends. I'm really, really excited for Star Wars Destiny and like the new people I'm going to be playing games with out in the DFW area very soon. So before we get out of here, does anyone have anything they want to talk about?
Yeah, one of the things we didn't mention on that announcement article is that the next set is supposedly on schedule, which means that this set will likely not have a very long run of it being the new hotness. So just keep that in mind, that this set's probably going to be drafted less than other sets, and things may be harder to find in the singles market, maybe. But, it's always something to look at. That
the next set will be ready for regionals probably too.
Yeah, I would like to add too something so you talked about earlier. If you've got a local game shop that you're buying your product from, it is probably preferable that you guys try and do pre-orders for it, especially with this being released over a holiday weekend. There may be some product shortages in some of these locations, just based on some of the conversations I've had with my reps. They were telling us to pre-order in advance because if the product flies out as quick as they think it will, there may not be some stock to fill back in for a little bit of time.
Yeah, and realistically...
Might be too late to pre-order, though, isn't it?
What's that?
Is it too late to pre-order?
I mean, not right now. Like, the orders won't be filled probably for the next couple of weeks, right? Well, at least the next week and a half. So there's still time to have pre-orders added to your local shops, and with enough time for them to get them into the distributor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's really the biggest thing about any card game, even, you know, the biggest of the bunch, including Magic. If you're not buying and playing at your local game store, you're going to be in a lot of trouble, because if they don't have any reason to keep the product in the shop, you're just kind of screwed. Like, buying cards from the shop, playing at your local shop, that's very, very important. I mean, I know we have Cool Stuff Inc. and Tag and all these shops, but the thing is, like, Cool Stuff is my local shop. I, you know, go and visit there and play games with friends in the shop. I buy my stuff from my local shop. Same thing with Todd and Rick and Nick. Like, it's important to support your local gaming store, because that's where you're going to meet people. That's where you're going to talk about Destiny. You're going to make friends, and people will see you playing, which will, you know, interest them to continue learning and marketing and playing and rinse, wash, repeat. So yeah, definitely talk to someone at your local game store about Way of the Force. Just make sure they're aware of it. Like I said, not everybody knows at the appropriate time, because someone might find out like next week, but that could be too late to place a nice big order, and they might just get whatever's left over. So definitely talk to your local game store. Find out, hey, are you guys getting it? Can you get me an order? And if, you know, some places we've heard like they want to promote Destiny, but it's not necessarily on their plate. They might be too busy. It might not be big enough. We've got plenty of people messaging us saying, you know, we're starting our own group. The store is buying the product, but we're hosting all the tournaments. We're doing all the promotion. We're getting people in. That is a great way to start a local community. There's people who say, hey, my store just doesn't support the game. That doesn't mean you can't support the game. And no store I've ever heard of will say no to people coming into their shop and playing games. There might be specific days that are worse than others, but most shops will say, yeah, bring your friends in, play the game. You know, they want you to be there, and that can drum up way more interest and grow your local scene.
What he said.
All of that.
And
And
stuff.
more.
Spoilers are fun.
No, they're not. I hate spoilers. I hate spoilers. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I just want them all at one time, so I can be like, oh, I see how this works now.
Okay. So we're going to get on out of here. Thank you so much for sticking around. This was a great show. I had a lot of fun. There are lots more cards coming out. And, you know, in all reality, hopefully we only get a few of them, so that way when we're actually, like, breaking open our booster boxes, we can have some oohs and ahs. Because I do agree, having the entire set spoiled kind of sucks, because you don't really care about the cards. You just care about getting value. But when you don't know what everything is and you crack open a pack and you're like, I have no idea what this is. Like, taking a few seconds to read a card is really exciting. And then you go, oh my goodness, this is really good. And you can start to like build combos and build decks and build synergy. And that's the fun of card games, is cracking packs, reading cards, creating new ideas, and figuring out in, you know, playtesting, does this work? Does this not work? And then, you know, talking to your friends, rinse, wash, repeat, going to your local store, talking to your friends there. You know, someone will chime in, hey, I found out, you know, this card works well with that character, and someone may not have thought about that. And once again, it's all about community building, you know, meeting new people, talking about the game, playing the game, so on and so forth. And that creates interest, and it grows the game. So it's really exciting. I'm really, really, really stoked for Way of the Force.
What he said.
Yeah. Spoilers.
Spoilers suck. That's what he said. I heard that part.
I heard that part. So anyways, we're getting out of here. But once again, as always, thank you to our Patreons. We're just going to keep shouting out Patreons every single show, because without your help and support, we could not do this. So thank you so much to Steve Harvey. You are awesome.
No, Steve Harvey's a Patreon?
Yeah?
Oh my God, I love him on Family Feud.
It's great.
I think you're thinking of a different Steve Harvey.
Huh. Are you sure?
Yeah, I've met him. He goes to all the cons. He's been at Worlds. He's a super cool guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah,
But
all of our
no offense
Patreons
to
are super
Steve
cool
Harvey.
folks.
He's great.
Not the television show personality Steve Harvey.
Oh,
no.
well.
I'm still going to tell everybody that Steve Harvey is a page.
Right. Steve Harvey.
I'm going to let them jump to their own conclusions.
Yep. And I'm still the best player in Europe. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, before we get shots fired at us again, we're going to get out of here. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for joining us. Have a great week, and may the Force be with you. thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and join us on all of our social media outlets. And a big thank you to all of our Patreons for your support. We can't do this without your help, so make sure to join us for all of our exclusive Knights of Ren content.